excessive, prolonged radiation exposure may transform those above ground into decrepit, rotting beings that have lost their ability to reason.
Hey guys, how's it going? It's AdamaSanguine and welcome back. Before I get too far along, I just want to give a big shout out to one of my customers and subscribers to my channel for donating a new microphone. He heard that I needed one and actually just gave it to me. It was really awesome. This is just a toner USB microphone. It is a plug and play option on there. They call it a condenser microphone. Now this AstroTurf, I wanted you to see me adding this in, mainly just to show you it wasn't unimmersive, doesn't require any water, and I just have it in a few places sparse here and there, just to give the ghouls a nice place to hang out and relax on their time off. Now this pool, quote unquote, that I added in, this is actually 3 different sections, curved sections from the freeway building freeway pieces. They come in AKIRA'S clutter. The water also is in AKIRA'S clutter as well. It's listed under resources, water, I believe. Nice. Just pillar glitched that in and lined up really great. Look at that. Really nice. The table I'm adding in here, this steel and concrete girder that I added in, that was just to cover up 2 sections that met together, and I really like how that turned out. Put some candles on there, maybe a few pieces. Nice. Now I've been looking for a good excuse to use the industrial sewer pipes. If you guys are into the shipping crates, I thought these were a great alternative, plus you get the cool sliding doors, and I haven't had any issues with the settlers getting caught up in them like they did with the shipping crates. Nice. And of course the flat edges, when we put some walls on there, you can decorate them as well. Of course the shipping crates, everything will float. Nice, look at that. And we're just using the QWAPA tool just to align the gates, just because that way I don't have to group select everything with the pillar and go back and forth all the time. So look at that. So I go back and forth between the pillar glitch and the QWAPA quite often. Now these floor pieces I wanted to show you this mainly because you can do these with the pillar glitch or without any kind of glitching at all. You can just set them in there. Look at that. But they are very forgiving, and once you get them in, I'm using the QWAPA here just to lower it down. You could say we are cutting the wood to fit the pipe, not the pipe to fit the wood. So it goes together really easily. Now this sewer grate is also in AKIRA'S clutter. The pipes are from USO, but the grate doors are from AKIRA'S clutter. I was so excited to get these. And a big shout out to the Fallout 4 guy for pointing me in the direction of AKIRA'S clutter, and several other mods I'm going to remember to list. And he is a fantastic builder. If you guys want to see some amazing epic builds, he has been accused several times of building on PC, but no, 100% he builds on PlayStation 4, because a lot of these mods aren't even available on PC. Nice, look at that. Now this refrigerator is going to be turned into a bed, so I use the QWAPA's tilt function just to flip that over. And of course, always remember when tilting items, it does change the axis, AXIS. And once we flip that over, we'll just sew or glitch some straw pillows together just to make a nice little mattress in there. And always remember, when using the QWAPA tool, you do have to go forward to place your item. So here I'm going to the side, but then I'll just go forward just a smidgen and then raise it up and tilt it a little bit more. Nice, look at that, look at the magic of editing. Awesome. And now these little stone pillar or concrete pillars, you're going to see these throughout my build. I use these to cover the end pieces where a lot of the freeway sections met up with other pieces that they didn't belong to. I thought it was a nice little camouflage there, and it turned out really nice. We'll just use the line there on the bottom of the steel just to make everything match together. Now once we get this final one raised up, guys, we'll go ahead and take the vanilla tour, and then we'll move on to the real tour. Awesome. See you guys in a minute. Hold that thought. Alright, so here we are in the Slog version 0. You guys have seen me do a couple of different builds here, or at least those that have been with my channel for a while have seen me do a couple of builds. Only one currently exists before this, which was the Prairie House interpretation I did in memory of Frank Lloyd Wright. It was my first Frank Lloyd Wright build that I have done, And I really like this area. It's one of my favorites. Actually, if you were going to do a build and not touch anything, this is probably the most fun, just because there is so much room to do. I mean, you can do your own little tiny little shack in the corner, not even think about it, or even put in one bed, and you've already got a roof and some water. So there's so many different things you can do with this. Without scrapping mods, you cannot get rid of the bathroom stalls, and you cannot get rid of the beds, I believe. But you'll be happy to know with this build, I did not use STS, no STC, so everything you're going to see was all done with QWAPA, or of course a little bit of pillar glitching, and we're doing a lot of different things with this. So man, I've been working for a month. I hope you guys really enjoy it. I'm happy with how most of it turned out, and I'll get into a few issues that I had here in a moment. Hold that thought again. Alright, so here we are at the Slog version 3, and wow, this one was took a lot of effort just to get everything perfect. And as you can see here, the industrial piping turned out pretty awesome. I can't wait to show you the insides of them. They are very simple, very ugly in parts, but at the same time that was actually by design. So I spent a lot of time going around just to make it look immersive, you know, just to make it look, I mean, if you look here with the sandbags, you know, a few of them scattered about, so either they fell off or just didn't have time to put them together, but I think that turned out quite nice. So if you remember in Discord, for those that are on the Discord channels, I did say that I was doing this based off of the Pima Indian tribe, or Pima native tribes. So for the Pueblo Grand Museum here in Phoenix, Arizona, I gave a lot of inspiration to this build. I took, as you can see here, all the angles just line up together, and I really love how it turned out. So a couple of things is the NPCs will not generally go near a lot of the pieces. So that was one of the things that I was a little upset with. Don't know if they think that they're floating, that there's no actual ground there, because I even putting down the pathing mats, they still won't use them. But look at this. So if you look here at the floor is actually just retiled using castle stone, excuse me, and Dynasty stone. So here we have a chemistry station. That shelf there, I believe, is from AKIRA'S clutter there that we just pushed into the side. So back here in the, look at that, this is the trader. And hey, Hancock, how's it going there, buddy? Care for a game of chess later? Yeah? Alright. So look at this. So I know I could have put a little bit more decoration in here, but also in Discord I mentioned that there's a few things that I tried to add that just wouldn't fit anymore, and my PlayStation just wasn't having it. Again, I'm on a standard PlayStation 1 terabyte hard drive, so there is only so much you can do with it, but I'm not complaining because I'm really happy. Look awesome here. I was hoping to catch somebody sitting on this box back here, because that box is actually a chair that I made for them, just using one of USO's invisible chair height placers, or invisible chair at chair height placers. And if you come back here now, again, this was very heavily inspired by the Fallout 4 guy, so I took a lot of time just to make sure that it looked like somebody was actually using this as a store, something you would actually find in the Fallout universe. And a lot of these wall decorations came from USO and from AKIRA'S clutter as well. So everything, as you guys know, save for the 100th time, it's all hand placed. Nice. Hello there. Now, one of the things that I can't wait to show you, this is actually the Slog and Go back here in the corner, and I want to show you a few of the things that I did in here. Hello there. Let's see. I'll close that up, so we'll show you that in a minute. NPCs opening doors. Now, the Slog and Go is heavily inspired actually by my job. Of course, I work for a full grocery store, But this one is just designed after a little convenience store. The checkout stand there is actually based off of the one that you see in the loading screens. So with the standard kitchen counter, the rubber mat, and everything else. So we can go back here and pick up some funnel cake. And let's see, we can get some Buzz Bites and maybe a little BRAHMAN mac and cheese. Down here is where we keep all the little back stock. So we can load that up later on. Over here on the side, you guys saw that I posted one little picture on Discord about the Coca-Cola mini cart. I think this is a fun little interpretation. So now we have a Nuka-Cola mini cart. Nice. Fully stocked with Nuka-Cola, or ice cold Nuka-Cola. And that is actually just a cryolator case that we flipped over on its side. And back here we have a really awesome beer cooler. It took 17 different pieces to make this beer cooler. Just actually have some AC duct work here and about, well, several different pieces of wall and of course the shelf itself. Nice. This shelf back here that we have all the meds on, that is actually 100% from scratch. That is actually all the legs, and the shelving themselves is actually all separate pieces. Nice. Hey buddy, how you doing? Just gonna come back here and show my friends some things that you have on display. We can have ourselves a nice cappuccino and some Buzz Bites for later on. And over here in the corner, this is actually one of the few places that I've actually ever seen the undamaged Fancy Lad snack cakes. So I think it's the only place in the Commonwealth to get those. So we'll have some nice potato crisps later on and some Fancy Lads. And here we got the bubble gum and the gumdrop display. Now, one thing that I did notice is the gumdrops are actually only 9 caps, but for some reason they're charging 11 caps for the gumdrops. So I see what they did there. They drop one by one cap and raise the other one by another cap. Never seen that done before. So again, all this here is actually, if you look at actually all the trash is still on the ground, but I was able to sink down the tile floor just low enough. Now this is another homage to the Fallout 4 guy who always has the security shutters in his build, but I took it a step further. Well, maybe not a step further, but just a little bit different, as I actually turned the gates upside down so that they actually were inverted. Nice, look at that. Every window, those are all Wi-Fi glitched, 4 different garage door pieces. Bathroom here. This one is really nice. I'm kind of happy with how it turned out. I'm actually happy. Got the idea to maybe use the desk fan that actually mount that on the ceiling, maybe just to blow some of the steam back into the bathroom after somebody has a hot shower. Nice. Now, actually, nice little blue light up there. Just gives a little bit of ambiance to this place. I wish the tile was a little dirtier. This was from USO, but I guess leaving the trash on the floor did make it look kind of nice. Look, it actually belongs here. And what do you know? Somebody left the water on. Waste not, want not, guys. Make sure you turn off the water. Now we'll go take a look at the women's room back here in the back. And again, I really wanted some more clutter in here, but that's okay. I took a lot of effort and time just to make it look like the bathroom has actually been used. It looks a little bit different from the men's room. As you can see here, this was all separated off from the rest of the room. Did that make any sense? So basically turned the 3 rooms into 6 rooms. Nice. Even the puddle goes back here, goes down the drain. Which is actually just a steel gear acting as the floor drain. Nice. Go ahead and close that up. Come on, close the door. Thank you. I'm going to close this door up. OCD works for me. Now, I can't wait to show you guys how the back turned out. Take a look at this. Look at that. Now, I did attempt to build my own bridge over the top of that. But this actually that bridge actually comes from the Wordy Purdy tool set, which is in, again, the Fallout 4's mod. But I think that looks much nicer than the one that I was building, even though mine was made by hand. That was just a lot nicer and cut down on the pieces that I was using. Again, wanted to save some frame rate. Got some wild mood for it here. And we got a lady here warming her hands on the fire. I actually, without using a scrappy mod, you can't move the original fire pit that's there. So we just glitched over another one on top of it. Nice. Hey Doc Weathers, how you doing? Don't need anything today, Doc. Thank you very much. So we'll go ahead and take a look at the Mr. Glass's workshop. I didn't really do a whole lot with it. I kept it basically the same. If you guys want to see a really nice done-up shop, you can go take a look at the one I did over in the Prairie House for my Frank Lloyd Wright build. So all we did is just change out a few pieces of furniture and reinforced all the walls. Gave an extra little shelf in there. Nice. Let's go up and on the rooftop. We'll take a look at these rooftop apartments. And it is getting a little dark. So I'm going to go ahead and rest until morning, and through the magic of editing, we'll just flip it over to about 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. There we go. That's much better. Nice. Now this rooftop apartment set, there's a lot of different things in here from AKIRA'S CLUTTER, and we also have from EBM, I believe is the other mod that we're using for those doors. And then this this huge door back here, this is actually from USO. This is, I think, listed under garage doors, and that is, or warehouse doors, and that's just a huge blue door. The framing here is just some I-beams that we threw together. Didn't really have to glitch them, just had to sink them into the floor a little bit there. But since I am doing a Institute playthrough, just in case we get a vertibird flying overhead, we can make sure that we can protect ourselves and not get shot in the face. Nice. All the walls up on top with all the white walls, these are actually from the Slocum Joe's tile set. They are a bit clean, so I apologize for that, but I wanted to keep with some of the same look and feel that was from here originally. And maybe got the little cinder block holding the door open here. Since the NPCs won't close the door anyway, you guys can have a nice Rice Krispies treat if you want to. Now I know again there was a lot of places that I could have decorated in here, but again it just needed to save some frame rate. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Brahman pin. We actually have two different types of Brahman here. And we have one Brahmaloft that we brought in from Nuka World. That's the Longhorn version. The pack Brahman actually just handles taking the small supplies back and forth. We can sell off. Hey there, buddy. How you doing? And we got Betsy here, which we get all our milk for all of our coffee. Nice. And of course, this lady here feeds the chickens and the rabbits. Keep up the good work. You're doing a great job. And a nice little scrappy little barn or storage area back here. Not really a barn, I guess. Now this wagon back here, I did this as an homage to the Fallout 4 guy. He's done a few in his builds. If you guys want to see some amazing vehicles, he doesn't like to be known as the guy that builds really epic vehicles, but I mean it's kind of in every single one of his builds. So this is actually just a standard locker door that we're using as the tailgate for this wagon. And now that I actually look at it, it would have been really great to actually have a barbecue pit back here, because we could have had a tailgate party. You're all invited. Come on. This wagon takes all of the supplies back and forth. We can even sell some of the moot fruit plants to our other settlements. And I figured the green lights there would be really nice if you're at a distance seeing this wagon coming up the road. Maybe you'll think that there is a feral glowing one wandering around, and you'll think twice before attacking it. And of course up close it just has just enough light just to see the ground, and we can pick up any salvage along the way. Nice. So yeah, really happy with that bridge. I love how it looks. It's gorgeous. It just seemed to fit in. It's actually from Morty Purdy's set again, and the bridge itself almost like it was like he designed it and said, hey, I want a bridge that'll fit inside the pool. But I'm not sure if that's what it's intended for, but for me it just screamed put me over the bridge. We got a nice little homage to Phoenix and Sardeliac putting that lamp above the table. I just thought it would be a nice one to put in there. And here we have Abe's Pagoda. Shout out to Abe Vagoda from Barney Miller. And I thought that was a nice little homage to him. Abe's Pagoda. Nice. Didn't really do much with this area back here. I wanted to add a little bit more. Let's go ahead and take a look at the sitting area back here that got finished up. Just made it like a nice little game area. Place, we got the candles hanging on the table there.
Of course, we have the Super Mutant Provisioner. I did have that in my last build that I did here. My Provisioner glitched out similar to how it did Sardeliac's playthrough on Sunday, and was it the Sunday before last? And yeah, my Provisioner kept disappearing. I don't know what was going on with that. That little generator shack, little room back there that I built, that is based off of the one that's outside the General Atomics headquarters. There's one that's over by the lake back there. So we can come hang out on a break, have a smoke, and we'll go down into the pool. I do see a few people down here from time to time actually tending to these berries, or the tar berries, which I thought was pretty nice. And if you look here, all my pipes do actually run completely from the purifier / water pump all the way over into the other pool, so, or into the other irrigation setup there. So I thought that was a nice little touch of immersion there for you. Even got a couple of scarecrows on guard here to keep the birds at bay. And you could actually drink this water, which I thought was nice there. It is dark in a couple of spots there, but I guess that's what we have to deal with, just because the water that I used was a bit on the small side. It was actually meant for bathtubs. I glitched all those together. I guess I think there was something like 30 pieces of water that I used for that. That's a lot of bathtubs. It's not really wasted. It actually goes toward the plants. See? The corn's growing good. This is actually wild corn, thanks to USO. Nice. Now you'll notice, I'll have a couple of pictures up at the end of this, and you'll notice I actually changed out the guard station there. Excuse that, there was actually a storm coming in. But yeah, the guard station just stuck out a little too much. The original one was from the Skybridge setup. Now this down here, actually, what I noticed when I put this soda machine in, the Nuka-Cola machine, is it was actually stuck out a little too far. So I figured I'd just go ahead and knock it over, take up the rest of the space that I had, and made it look like a couple of bottles had fallen out of it. So I thought that was kind of cool. I could have used Nuka-Cola bottles, but I thought it was a little bit different to use the ones from the Children of Adam build set. Nice. We've got an extra little room here, a couple of beds that work. There's only a couple of ghouls that came along later in the settlement, so I actually had to add this house in at the last second, or this little hut here, whatever you want to call it, at the last moment. So I just made a nice little scrappy bed for them. And we'll go down here into the living quarters. Now all of my workers, all the ghouls that came along once the settlement was actually set up, so these were all they're sleeping at. This one here is kind of like a little soldier, would stay back here, perhaps a former Minutemen veteran that retired after the everything that happened in Quincy, so he kind of stays back here. He tends to show off for the ladies at the middle of the night, and he actually drinks that nuclear material with his rum every night. So I don't know if he's showing off or he's trying to kill himself, but I'm pretty sure the radiation doesn't affect him. So nice. This is a little bit more of a fancy one per se, and one of the female ghouls stays back here. This one is more of a scrappy design. So if you see here, I actually did this bed here out of just some plywood, a crate, a big old truck tire, and just a dirty old mattress sitting on there. So I wanted each one of these to be a little bit different from the last. Again, this is my favorite one. I love how this one turned out. Again, this is where my scavenger lives. So he's got some nice little things that he works on back here. You got those nice posters from Nuka-Cola, and some little bit of storage here. He's got his favorite blowtorch that he keeps on that top shelf there. That's of course one of the humongous blowtorches. Sleep in that bed if we want. Love how that one turned out. It's my favorite one. If I was going to actually have one, that would be mine. Alright, and then of course this is a nice little, just a little cooking area where everybody can hang out at the end of the night. A couple of them do come back here sometimes. This one is a bit of a larger tube. Actually, these are two together, so I figured it'd be nice just to make him have a little bit more room, but at the same time it's actually a little scrappier, so you get a bigger place but you don't necessarily get any better furniture. And this one, I actually love this one as well. This is more of a clinic, I guess, a little scrap clinic. I thought this was kind of a nice little touch, so if you wanted to have a nice little clinic, here's an idea for you guys if you wanted to use one of those for that. It'd even be portable technically. You could probably put it on some wheels maybe. we could probably, you know what, I actually might end up having to do that. Alright, so now we're up into the less immersive part of the tour. Again, I wasn't able to decorate pretty much anything up here, so let's take a quick look inside. I was just experimenting, trying to see if the wood and the Slocum Joe tile pieces would go together, or wall pieces. So, of course, they snap in, everything is fine, but it looks a little too clean. But again, this is just another experiment of mine, just to see how it would all work. So imagine that there's a whole bunch of decorations, maybe some alarm clocks and stuff like that sitting up here. Nice. And then we'll go over to the workshop area. Now, I did say on Discord that my workshop is bare, mainly just because where it did... oh, actually, we'll check out this little room here. This one I did actually get an alarm clock in, and we got a nice little military bag there, just for some storage that these guys can use. Nice. Actually, before we go into the workshop, let's go up here. We're going to take a look at the trailer. Again, I wanted some more stuff in here. I was actually going to add a TV at the last minute, but this is right when I started having the big issues. Well, anyway, guys, we're coming up on the end of the tour. I do thank you so much for taking the time and watching this. I am AdamaSanguine. I love you all. I'm out.